everybody, it's me, Brenda B, aka B Bus, and I'm back again. And this time it's not a tip on happiness or a book review. Instead, I have kind of a rant. So the other day I was on Instagram and I read this quote and it said, "I knew I loved you when I started making excuses for the way you hurt me." And it was like one of those moments when you're like reading something on Instagram and you like scroll past it and you're like, wait, go back. So I went back to it, I reread it like a couple times, and it just like really irritated me, and I had to like take a moment to process why it irritated me. And here's kind of what I came down to. So I'll just repeat the quote one more time. "I knew I loved you when I started making excuses for the way you hurt me." So I see like a couple of things wrong with it. One, I don't think you can convince yourself that you love someone because you made excuses for the way they hurt you. You should be convinced that you love someone because of the way you feel around them, or be convinced that you love someone because of how happy you are around them, or just the life you envision having with them, or just how much you care for them, not because they hurt you and you made an excuse for it. Because typically when we make excuses for things, we're hiding something, we're ashamed of something, and I can picture that most likely was what it was. You made excuses for how someone hurt you because you were likely ashamed of it. And then on the other side, I also think of, if you really love this person, then you wouldn't make excuses for how they hurt you. Because I think that love sees people for how they really are. It sees people for the good, the bad, the ugly, and it challenges them to be better because it knows all the good that's within them. If you love someone, then you say, hey, like, I love you, I see that you're so good at this and you're so good at that, but you also have a tendency of doing this, and I'm just letting you know because I want you to be the best version of you that you can possibly be. So if you love someone, you gotta challenge them to see their own flaws. So it just made me think that if you really love that person, you shouldn't make excuses for the way that they hurt you or the way that they hurt others, whether to yourself or whether to them or whether to the people around you who might witness this. You say, you know what, yeah, they do have this, but you know what, I believe in the best of them. And you go to them and say, hey, you do this and I'm challenging you to do better because I want you to be the best version of yourself. So that's two things. That's one, I don't think you can be convinced that you love someone because you make excuses for them, but also that if you love them, you wouldn't make excuses because you should challenge them to be the best version of themselves. And on another hand, I think that if you really love someone, you should also learn to love yourself, because how you love yourself is how you teach others to love you. And if you love yourself enough, then you'll recognize that they did do something to you, and you'll challenge them. You'll say, hey, if you care about me, then you wouldn't do this. You won't let them get off the hook and make excuses and deny and all this other stuff. You'll say, you did this. You hurt me. I feel hurt. And it'll give you a chance to see whether or not they care about you. Because if they care about you, you telling them that they hurt you will challenge them to change themselves. If they don't change, then whether or not you care about them, they don't care about you. And it's time to go. So I just really wanted to get that out, because when I saw that Instagram post, there were so many people who were just like, yes, I agree, totally, I feel the same way, like same experience. And it just really bothered me that there were so many people who thought like you love someone or you care about someone because they hurt you and you make excuses. No, I think if you really love them and if you really want to build a relationship and a future with them, you have to challenge them to be a better person, because if you don't, who knows, maybe you'll get married and maybe 20 years down the road or 30 years down the road, they will still be the same person doing the same thing, and you'll start complaining about it even more. But you knew they were doing it 20 years ago, and now they built the habit of doing that for 20 or 30 years, and you're complaining about something that's so ingrained in them that you could have changed earlier, or that you could have brought to their attention earlier. And you can't have a relationship built off of things that you're keeping to yourself and that you're hiding. If you want to grow with someone, you have to actually challenge them to grow. So that's all I would really say, is just if you really care about someone, Don't hide the fact that they hurt you. Don't make excuses for it. Challenge them to be the best that they can actually be. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Alright, goodbye. Happy trails, everyone. Bye.